This is not good.
Get upset on the internet.
Hi everybody, welcome to Retrostation 1989. I'm Commander Dan, and I'm commanding you to watch me talk to you about video games. I am the commander and lone inhabitant of the Retrostation, an archive of retro video games. And this is License to Play, where...
Commander Dan, there's a problem in the data containment system.
What's going on?
One of the games you deposited into the containment system has reacted with the other revoked games. The game has become malignant.
Not the Three Stooges.
No.
Peter Pan?
No, Commander. Look at the monitor.
Crap. The year is 1988. My parents are divorced. I live with my brother and my dad with our grandmother. We just got an NES and we're about to start high school in a city we never lived in before for very long, and let's just say 88 was a bad fucking time. But on my way to school, Eastern High School, Lansing, shouting them out, I graduated from somewhere else actually, but Eastern High School was my alma mater for my freshman year. There was this bus stop ad. Check this out. Next year, 1989, June, Batman. That's all I needed to say. Look at that gold emblem. It screams they're taking it seriously. It didn't look like there were going to be a goofy cartoon-style Batman like Super Friends or the 66 Batman. My shitty, confusing, sad situation got just that much better. It was like a ray of sunshine in a sea of turds and clouds made of vomit. And from that moment forward, Batman was my guy, my hero. He was the knight. He was vengeance. He was the hero who would help my imagination fight back the weirdness and sadness of being a new kid again for the 10th or 11th time, of having that new family situation. So, I take Batman pretty seriously, to be honest. For an adult, for an old man like myself, I take Batman very seriously, more seriously than I probably should. But it's because of that part of my life that Batman became important to me, is the reason I do that. See, Batman was created by Bill Finger and published by DC Comics. What? Oh, yeah, Bob Kane. Yeah, Bob Kane had a job drawing Batman and wrote shitty stories where Batman was just the shadow in a bat costume. A very shitty, ridiculous-looking, douchebaggy bat costume. Look at this. You want more information on this? Check out the documentary Batman and Bill. The documentary about how Bill Finger was robbed by Detective Comics and Bob Kane over and over and over again until finally recently he was made right. It's kind of shit that Zack Snyder would love, you know, if he fucking thought about it for 2 seconds. And honestly, it wasn't until, fucking The Dark Knight Rises that they put Bill Finger's name in that shit. So Batman was created. The Batman you like and the Batman I love was created by Bill Finger. Thanks, Bob Kane, for drawing it and taking credit, you piece of shit. But that happens all the time in comics. Anyway, throughout the years between 1989 and the amazing Tim Burton expansion of how people saw the Caped Crusader, from being the back-to-back old chum, or we've got to beat these robots by putting a rope around their feet and never punching anyone. He's been represented in as many games as he has movies and TV shows. And there were hits, no doubt. Batman Return of the Joker by Sunsoft, and the last acceptable one, in my opinion, on the 16 and 8-bit systems, Batman Returns by Konami. Now, I don't do a lot of Genesis shout-outs here, but I had a Genesis growing up. There's a really good story about my Genesis, as a matter of fact, which I'll reveal to you at a later time. But I will say that the Batman games on the Nintendo systems were better overall than the Genesis ones, with the exception of the recreation of the NES Batman on the Genesis called Batman. It was fantastic. It was a great upgrade to that NES version, which I happen to really, really, really love. In fact, I'll insert a picture of my shelf here, which, if you watch the videos, if you look over my shoulder, you'll see my complete boxed copy of Batman. Now, we get to the 16-bit era and something bad happens. The Batman Forever game comes out. And now, the people who own Batman, DC Comics and Warner Brothers, start just shuffling off the fucking title to companies that have a big presence in the marketplace, but not necessarily the best track record of taking licensed properties to market, aka Acclaim, which is also known as LJN. Again, LJN with these fucking superhero games that suck balls and shaft. It just is the worst. And suck old or very promiscuous vaginas, if that's your preference. Whatever it does it poorly and to genitals that aren't worth having any mouth action. No doubt. But then we get to Batman and Robin. Holy shit, that game's terrible. But still, we're getting a lot of bad games. And then in the 3D space, we had basically radio silence on Batman. And that was because of one game in particular. And we're going to talk about that game overall. But, I mean, the 3D space, there were games like the Gauntlet-likes, like Batman, The Rise of Sin Tzu, and Batman Vengeance on GameCube. And none of them, even NES Batman, doesn't really capture, the way Batman works in the comics, how he operates. The movie games were simple cash grabs and the grubby kinds of things fans of the Bat will put up with because, yeah, that's what you got to do. And, I mean, we'll put up with it. In fact, I even kind of like Batman Forever only because I really liked Mortal Kombat. So I was like, well, I'm okay. I'll put up with that. But today, however, we're going to talk about the biggest sin of all in the Church of Batman, the unforgivable sin against my hero, the character who made my sad life a lot less sad, the most filthy, dirty, and corrupt cash grab ever foisted on my hero and savior, Batman. It is just the worst, and I swear to you, you will agree by the time this is over.
I'm running a sweep now, Commander, but I think you will need to activate the game in question to remove it from the archive.
Folks, I didn't go into it before, but this is the Retrostation 1989. It's my home. I'm circulating the Earth high above you guys, trapped here by alien forces to review retro games, and I've decided to make the reviews based around licensed titles. That means based on a movie or a TV show, toy series, comic, cartoon, and sometimes fast food mascots. This time, I checked my records and found out that the Xbox is damn near 20 years old. Which means this is retro Xbox games. And we're talking about a game now that it doesn't surprise me that it's become a mutated creature, devouring titles and shitting out even worse whatever it's doing. Because this game is, I'm warning you, it's bad. Not just like, ha ha ha, look at them graphics, bad, or, I don't know how to play this, bad. I'm talking, even about talking about it now seems like it's too soon, bad. Or the reason why your parents got divorced. Having that conversation at Thanksgiving, bad. Calling the librarian the C word. It's bad like that. It's the level of bad you know that you've broken a threshold of bad that once you've gone past it, there's nothing else. There's nothing else for you. You've become bad.
I've isolated the game now. Its data is contained in the historical archives. Shall I transfer it to the console, Commander?
No, Margot. I think we're going to have to take a look at the historical file, rather, and just take a look at where the game we're talking about came from. The game? Let's watch. Let's take a look at this history. Shit. We're talking about Batman. Dark Tomorrow. The year is 2002. E3. And man, fuck this. I can't do it either. I just can't do it. Here, Morgan Webb, who is paid to review this cursed piece of garbage, will try to tell you about Batman Dark Tomorrow.
Here at X-Play, we've turned... Forget it. I can't do it. I can't lie to you nice people. Cliche or no cliche, Batman Dark Tomorrow is another crappy superhero game in a long line of crappy superhero games.
See? Scanning this squamous horror for anything resembling a history would read like a list of war crimes. But here, let me tell you the factoids. Which, in this game's case, factoid stands for fact hemorrhoids, because this game burns and itches my ass to its fucking core. Kemco made this game. It took them 3 years. 3 goddamn years. They announced it in 2001, and even so, them announcing this game is tied for the worst thing that happened to America in 2001. And it's close. Believe me, it's very close. Batman Dark Tomorrow is a disc you put into your GameCube or Xbox to tell it you don't love it anymore. Shit. Look, let's try this. Let me search up Kemco on the internet. 1 second. Holy shit. Try looking up Kemco's games, and not even wiki contributors have shit all to say about the company or their games. There's a game they made called X-Zone. It doesn't have a review. It's featured in the GamePro article, Buyers Beware. That's a good fucking sign, right? Kemco made epic trash for the NES. Licensed trash, by the way. Spy vs. Spy. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. Holy shit. They made Ghost Lion, which isn't a licensed title, but it's, oh my god. It's okay, but it's offset because they also made Kid Clown and Nightmare World. You know, not nightmare, like you're having a fucking dream, but Nightmare, like he's the mayor of the night. Which is offensive to kids and clowns. Spelled with a K. So it's offensive to people with dyslexia as well. And this is appropriate because everyone knows clowns kill kids. And dyslexics. But on the other hand, Kemco also made Kid Clown and Crazy Chase, which is an arcadey, weird-ass game that, okay, it's fine. But look, Kemco is part of a Japanese conglomerate that makes air filters and automotive accessories, and has an owner who I imagine is a lot like Connell Cochran from Halloween 3, because they both want to hide things that hurt children and things that children are supposed to like. Kemco made shit throughout the 80s and 90s, and then got their clawed, wretched ghoul hands on Batman somehow, and...
I can't watch! Let's get out of here, Kyle! Why would Spielberg and Lucas do this? Come on, let's go! Why are they doing this? Just run!
Sorry. That was not about Batman Dark Tomorrow, but anyone who's had the misfortune to accidentally put this fucking thing into a console that will play it will tell you the reaction is the correct reaction. The game had a secretive development period, which took 3 years, and then was farted out into stores like a bloody polyp with hair and teeth slapped with a Batman label. Batman Dark Tomorrow is a single-player game, which pretends to have an open world. It doesn't. With camera movement that is designed to make your eyes vomit. And gameplay that expertly simulates having a goddamn brain aneurysm, and holy shit, it has a drunk Batman driving simulator into the mix as well. This game is trash. What, you want more factoids about this fucking game? Okay, the people who made it are a list of people I hope are getting peed in their mouths right now. And the chief writer wrote Final fucking Fantasy, the first one. And probably ate detergent pods until his better judgment was gone and he agreed to work for Kemco and write whatever the fuck this game is. Well, that didn't tell us anything. Other than we shouldn't play the damned thing, which guess what? I already knew because I sent it to the fucking incinerator.
Commander, I hate to correct you, but you sent it into the integrator. The quantum integrator, which integrated it with something growing in the frozen pizza box from Earth and some random isotopes we collected during yesterday's solar flare. It is an electronic entity of malice and destruction.
What does that mean?
Batman Dark Tomorrow is a sentient, dangerous monster game, and if it gets loose from the data systems, it will mutate all of the games in the archive.
Into what?
Batman.
Arkham Knight?
Dark Tomorrow.
Crap! That means we're going to have to review this thing and go all the way through the program and talk about all the aspects of it, treat it like any other game, and then judge it for its right to be alive, I guess. So, folks, we're talking about Batman Dark Tomorrow. Batman Dark Tomorrow. This is a single-player game released by Kemco for the GameCube and Xbox in 2003. It was meant to be a GameCube exclusive. It should have been a landfill exclusive. I'm not usually this negative, but let me be clear. I bought this game for the GameCube when it was released. You don't see it on my shelf because I threw it in the fucking garbage. I didn't even return it. I was so pissed I threw it away. I arrived at EB the morning it was released, and I bought it immediately. First thing in the morning. I was the first guy at EB. I brought that thing home. I put it in my GameCube, and, well, the cutscenes are actually great. The game, however, was made to make you feel like your parents never loved you. The game came out, no one bought it, except me, of course, and so it slipped out of all knowledge. But I played it. I was shown hell in a single game. Then, before doing this review, I bought two fucking copies of this heinous pickle fart of a fucking game for Xbox. At $10 a pop in the first one, my Xbox destroyed it. Literally. The second one, it refuses to acknowledge that it's a game. Bad laser or smart as hell Xbox? Well, look at this fucking footage I found and you be the judge. The story of Dark Tomorrow is actually not bad. Some of Batman's enemies are teaming up while there's a gang war destroying the streets of Gotham. And so it's ultimately a plot by Ra's al Ghul to destroy Gotham. It's a lot, like the story of Arkham City and Batman Begins, if you want to know the truth. And this predates both of them. But the story, to get to that shit, you gotta face off with this shit. Now, this is Batman getting stabbed once and getting dropped to the fucking street. Here's how using a grapple hook works in Arkham City. And here's how it, quote, works, unquote, in Dark Tomorrow. Right. And let's say, for the sake of argument, you do your very fucking best. You become champion of this game's limp dick controls. Well, you ain't going forward without Batman getting killed out of nowhere by rockets. And fucking construction equipment. And every violent inmate of Arkham City, and it all ends up with Batman swording against Ra's al Ghul in a sword fight, and Batman wins. But if you manage to do that, all you've managed to do is play all the way through Batman Dark Tomorrow, and that means you will never get the stank and stains off your soul. And the game ends with a question. No, not is Rage truly dead for real this time? The question is simple. No! No, no, no! Revoked! Revoked, revoked, revoked forever and ever and ever. Hallelujah, amen. All right. Cambot Jr., put this on super still. Thank you. This is an actual picture of the fucking scratched disc. My Xbox scratched this disc to this shape. The fuck am I going to do? And the other one is pristine but won't play at all. $10 a piece. You know what? I can't wait to send this piece of shit and its brother piece of shit to the incinerator. I feel like Brundlefly. Put the fucking shotgun to its head and wow! So no, license to play revoked. People who made that fucking game. My wish continues that people are somehow peeing in your mouth when you don't want them to. Which wraps up this episode for now. So, Margot, Incinerator City?
Affirmative, Commander.
Delightful. And now, thank you everyone for watching my show. I hope you all survived without throwing up or being scared of clowns. Seems impossible, but how am I supposed to know? But please, remember to share this with your friends. Alright? Give me a thumbs up if you liked what you saw, and if you didn't like what you saw, shut the fuck up. You don't have to run your mouth all the time. Last but not least, please subscribe. I'm looking for fucking subscribers. Help me out. Help me help you see retro games. And next week, I promise it'll be a game. At least a game that's not as shitty as those games. How can anything be that shitty? It just can't. So, see you next week on License to Play. I should have probably warned you all about the animations, but I'm learning new shit all the time. Holy shit, next episode will be even better. But for now, let us take a moment for the Bat and Superhero Summer. That bigger and better things are on the horizon. For both the Bat and you at home. And that whoever the fuck was responsible for letting that game out of its fucking cage is just waking up with a raccoon's dick in its mouth. That's what I'm hoping. Chittering and angry. Raccoon dick all over his face or her face. This is a modern world. I'm a modern man. So remember, all of what I just said, plus one thing. More than anything else I've ever said to anyone, stay retro.
Get upset on
Peace.
the internet. You're a salt adult. You're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. Throwing out a hissy fit, your views ain't in the millions, and every up and comer is a threat to what you're dealing. And instead of getting better, you just spout up on your Facebook, crying on your Twitter, bit about